All right, everyone. I think I'm live. I'm not sure because I haven't used this forever. Let me take a look here. Let me see. I think I'm live. Yes, I'm pretty sure I'm live. Anyways, welcome everyone to Dayvisson GPT. This is me. I'm Dayvisson GPT. I created this few weeks, months ago. Actually, I haven't been live in a long time. So for those of you listening for the first time, let me actually open my LinkedIn profile and see if I can see anything. All right. And give me 1 second. Pretty sure I'm live. All right. Let's go. Okay. Oops. Here we go. Ah, never mind. So here's the deal. It's a broadcast, so I can only see the camera. I do not know who is listening to this or who can watch right now. It's kind of awkward to just be speaking on the camera here, but I'm gonna do my best. Let me go ahead. I was going to go through those as well. Let me know how it goes. Okay, that's Scott. No worries, Scott. That's awesome. I mean, it's kind of tricky. Again, like you would usually speak to the camera, and there's people watching, but you have no idea who's there. And you just have to keep talking and make sure that you're being broadcasted. So, again, I call myself the tech sales hacker because I do help people get into tech sales, hack into tech sales roles, and that's what I do now. So back in the days, let me tell you a little background of why I do this. So back in the days, last year, I was in the middle of the night trying to figure out, okay, I was on paternity leave, and then at the time I was working for Microsoft, and I was just kind of missing work, kind of like the community, tech sales, and everything. And I just had this epiphany in the middle of the night. I was watching my son, and then I was like, why I don't start helping people get into tech sales, right? I have been in tech sales for almost 8 years, and I absolutely love it. I'm having a great time. It completely changed my life. So I'm just gonna start posting on LinkedIn. So I just start posting daily. Yeah, here, almost a year. I've been posting daily from Monday to Saturday. 5 days. I don't do on Sundays. For 6 days a week, I've been posting daily here on LinkedIn just about tech sales. And I do tips and tricks, strategies, and decided to create this one, the Dayvisson GPT, at that time, just because I was getting a lot of questions, a lot of DMs, messagings uh, inside of my LinkedIn profile. But usually people they don't come live, they don't ask live the questions in your live because here's the deal. Oh, before I go there, I created the Dayvisson GPT just to answer the questions that I was getting. I have no time. I don't have time. I have no time. No time. I don't have time to talk to everyone that reached out to me and asked questions. I don't. I try to be very selective with my energy and resources that I have, and I can only do so much. So I created this. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm gonna reserve 1 hour every week, and I'm gonna answer all the questions that I get live on LinkedIn. There's I don't know a billion people here. I don't know. Maybe 1% is connected now. Maybe less than 1% is actually looking for something. But if they ask me a question, then I'll answer the questions live. I won't mention names because people keeps privacy. And this is the time that I have that I reserved 100%. Of course, I have done one-on-ones. I've done resume reviews, and I still do profile reviews and all those things to help people one-on-one. In fact, if you go to my profile, if you are in tech sales right now and you try to ramp up and you try to uh, go to the next role or you just got laid off or whatever, if you like, you need to go to the next stage. I'm doing resumes and reviews. I call the personal brand audit. So if you are in tech sales, if you are an experienced tech seller, I'm trying to prioritize. Otherwise, I do for everyone. Go ahead and then sign up. I do one month, but this is the time here that I just go live. I answer questions. So if you have any questions, I don't know who's listening to this or not. I have no idea. Let me let me double check. There's four people here. So if you are here and if you have a question, just drop on the chat. Um, that's the only way that I can communicate with you is if you drop a question in the chat. But now, here's the thing with LinkedIn Live. It's really tricky because I'm talking about you getting to your next level, right? You getting to your next role. So if you are not open to work, it's really tricky to just jump in and ask questions about getting your next job, right? So you don't want your manager to see, you don't want your coworkers to see, you don't want other people. You might be looking for a job, but you don't want other people to know. So it's really interesting, right? How you can ask that question. So if you are onto that bucket, just go to my DM, drop the question there, and I'll keep it private, and I'll answer the question here. Now, if you're open to work, if you just got laid off, or if you are looking for something, you can just drop the question here because you're looking for a job anyways, right? Visibility is everything. I'm connected to a lot of people. I can give advice here. I can give you help and even a potential network connection. So, which brings me to a point that I wanted to talk about today is visibility. Visibility is key during um, your job search. So now, so I haven't done this forever. Um, what I'm gonna do, I just any questions here. If you're listening to this, if you want to say hi, just go ahead and say something, or tell me why you're actually trying to listen to this right now, because you could be doing hundreds of other things. Today's Friday, and now it's rainy, it's stormy, and hopefully my internet will stay alive. But I'm here. This is not my time. This is your time again, and I ask questions about job search. Now I concentrate in tech sales because that's what I do now. I'm a full-time coach for people getting into tech sales. But I don't know if you have any other interview or if you're listening to this and you reach to ask a question and you're not in tech sales, that's fine too. Totally cool. Give me a second. All right. Okay. So I don't see nobody posting here. Yeah, there's nothing here. So I'm gonna just keep talking. So what I did in the past, if nobody asks any questions, I just go over my posts and I talk about my posts. Also, I can go on my DM right now. I'm gonna go on my phone and I'm gonna look at the questions that I got this week. Okay, 1 second here. Look over. Okay, if you have any questions, just drop in the chat. I am looking for questions here. Okay, so I got one. All right, so a lot of people are actually, if they're serious about it, they're going to my application and they apply to have a one-on-one. But um, there's one here. I have experience in sales, but I'm not in, you know, I'm not in tech sales. Um, what do I do about my transferable skills? How do I? What's the best way to get foot in the door? So I see that all the time. By the way, I when I transitioned to tech sales, I wasn't in tech sales, right? So nobody starts in tech sales unless you're graduating from college. Your very first job is in tech sales, then you probably transitioning. Now, I do have a podcast, and I created this podcast to answer that specific question: how do you hack into tech sales? So I highly recommend you to go and watch a few interviews. It talks a lot about transferable skills. How do you get into tech sales? How do you actually make your way in? Anybody, honestly, anybody can be a tech seller. Now, it all depends of the organization they're gonna work for or the solution they're gonna be selling. How successful you're gonna be, right? But everyone has transferable skills that you can leverage in tech sales, especially if you are working and talking with people like customer service or a teacher or selling anything, right? Retail sales, insurance sales, or any industry that actually communicate with people. It can be a face to face. It can be even digitally, like sending emails on LinkedIn or talking to people in general, phone calls, all those skills, all those things are needed in tech sales. And if you know these days, something that's very, very, very important is learning the technology, especially AI. I don't want to talk about that today, unless someone has a question. But learning the new technology, just being aware of what's happening, it's very important. But it all comes down to what you really want to do in tech sales, right? So let's see. I got a question here, Poppy. Hey, Antonio. I believe you're in Brazil. I'm not sure. Um, tudo bom? I'm gonna answer in English here for sure. How's the market? How's tech sales market in Texas right now? Are there any standout companies offering strong opportunities in the field? I'm currently working as an account executive at Microsoft. It's a good question. So Texas is hot in general for any industry. A lot of companies are moving to Texas just because it almost feels like New California. Literally, like since I moved here about 10 years ago, a lot of people are moving. Not only people but organizations. So whole headquarters and corporations are moving here. So it's bringing a lot of opportunities to the area. Um, there's jobs. If that's what you're asking, the market of sales tech, yeah, there is a lot of opportunities. Either working for partners, either working for big tech. Of course, there's all the shifts. I just today talked to someone from IBM, for example, where they are moving. One sales hub here now is they're moving all the way to Austin, right? So a lot of people might be actually looking for new opportunities or in IBM or you know that shift in the industry like that, moving locations or there is new solutions coming up. They have to hire a whole new team. So here in Dallas, I only worked for IBM and Microsoft in Dallas, Texas, Texas, right? Big techs. And I know that are always hiring and are always laying off. So it's just a matter of trying to realize which groups are hiring, what teams are hiring. They're always hiring. It's just a matter of networking properly and being strategic and trying to find out when is the next company coming before they actually pop everything, before they actually go online, right? That's um, the best way I would say to apply for something. Just networking right now. I'm actively helping people get jobs. In fact, all the people that I am coaching right now, none of them actually are trying to get a job in Texas. Um, but it all depends. It all depends on your strategy. Uh, Texas is a great place, by the way. If there's someone considering Texas as a tech sales hub, it's a great place to live. It's a good place to raise family, place for careers in general. Um, and there's opportunities. If that's a long, short answer for that. I would say from 0 to 10, I'll give a 7, an 8. But honestly, when I coach people, I try to focus on what's controllable, and I don't worry too much about the economy or too much about the politics or what's happening in the microeconomics. I focus on your specific skills, abilities, your plan, your strategy, when you want. And if it's Texas, and if it's excels, we'll find a job. That's uh, that's that's how I like to answer that question as well. Um, I have another question. Do you think the language skills is an asset to have that? 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. In fact, let me tell you a story. You mentioned Portuguese, Spanish, and English. By the way, I can actually be the introducer. Now, the biggest thing is, I'm assuming you are. Uh, I'm just gonna assume. I think it's okay that you're trying to land a job in Texas, but you are an expat, right? So I'm not sure where you currently are right now, but I'm just guessing. Let's say for example, you're in Brazil, right? I'll give an example, and you're trying to get a job in US. In general, it's hard, right? Everybody knows. Otherwise, everybody would be doing right. So the whole immigration thing, and then try to find a transfer. It's uh, challenging. It's there's no sugarcoating on that. Okay. Now, uh, there's a superpower right there, right? There's a lot of. In fact, how I got to IBM was because my language skills. I wasn't in textiles at all, and the reason why I got it, I was always looking every day on LinkedIn. By the way, for everything from the past 15, 20 years, all the jobs that I got was from LinkedIn. 500 organizations, my networking, everything. My clients now come come from LinkedIn. Um, so use LinkedIn, and you can type Portuguese Dallas. Just go there for fun on the job section. In fact, we did that right now. Let me show you my screen really fast. Give me a second. It's a GPT live here. Let me show you present. Let me see if I can do this because I haven't used this in a long time. Share screen. Well, hopefully I'm gonna get it right. I think I'm gonna get it. So hopefully you can see the right screen here. So I'm gonna go to LinkedIn. Okay. Here you go. It's much better doing live. All right. So here on LinkedIn, I'm gonna go LinkedIn jobs, and I'm gonna type just for fun, Portuguese. If you're asking if your language skills are Dallas Metroplex area right here. I'm gonna do a search. What, apply to this job? No, I don't want to apply for job. Oh, let's see. Here, Portuguese Dallas. Okay, here you go. So for fun, and then 265 results pops, right? It doesn't mean that's just $70, right? But SMB account executive Latin market. So very, 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 very important if you speak Portuguese, Spanish, and English. If you're looking for a job, listen very carefully. If you're looking for a job and you speak Portuguese and Spanish and English, you're trilingual, like I am, search using those keywords, and your probability of getting interviews, your probability of getting the an offer is much, much, much higher. Right? So Dallas, but it's hybrid, so you probably have to go to the office over there. Bears Dev, Dallas, remote, IBM. Oh, IBM. Okay. So let me click here. Let me go on and on, Latam. But it's all Dallas, right? It doesn't mean this is a perfect. Portuguese remote. See, just by that keyword. This is just one little trick. Spanish remote. So you can live in Dallas and work remotely, right? The job doesn't have necessarily to be in Dallas, but you can work remotely. Here, here you go. I say I'm a top applicant, blah, blah, blah. I know the works at IBM, but why? It's supposed to say it's Portuguese. So I want to see, sometimes here in the job, tells me, anyways, it might be a new team. They might need a bilingual. Sometimes it shows right here what the requirement. I can't see in this case, but yes. To answer your question, 100%, it's if you speak Portuguese, Spanish, English, that's a plus. It's a plus if you wanted to transfer from the organization they are right now. In this case, Microsoft. It's also a plus if you want to get into a new opportunity. A lot of a little insight here. A lot of the Latin jobs for people that speak Portuguese and Spanish and English are in Florida. Um, and you type Florida here, and now let's do that. It will be way more opportunity. Let's take a look. See, 165, 134 double probability of finding something. Again, you don't have to necessarily be living there. Here, trilingual, Spanish and Portuguese. Now, it's a startup, but they might be motivated to make an offer, right? And you're going to be working in the Latin region. You're going to be living in Tampa, Florida, hybrid, fluency in Spanish, Portuguese, Spanish, right here. Boom, right? So that's how you use the job search. You can be very specific here. You can do Boolean searches. You can also look on Google. You can search on Google, and Google will bring you back to LinkedIn. But that's one of the techniques, one of the things, one of the tricks that I like to use to find specific niche opportunities, like someone that speaks the languages. Great question, Tony. Hopefully that was helpful. Uh, yes, give me a thumbs up there or say something. Um, uh, yes, Texas is the place to be, and you have a huge advantage speaking three languages. Amazing. So I think I answered that question. I'm gonna stop sharing here. Obrigado, Deus, pela ajuda. Thank you for your support. Yeah, no problem, man. Um, now let's see. Let me stop here. Okay, I think I did. Now, yeah, de nada. Welcome. Now, I know you registered for a boot camp. I believe it was an able to attend. I'm doing a personal um, audit, and yeah, just check it out. I can look at your resume and LinkedIn, and you go from there. Sounds like you're serious about making a move. Maybe going to Texas. Yeah, if you come to Texas, let me know. Awesome. All right, that was an amazing question. Love it. That's what I'm here for, guys. I honestly, I would love to jump on all those cough talks, cough shot, other ones that I just can't. I I'll give an example. Let me see. All right, so I got someone here just send me. I'm not gonna mention names, everyone, by the way. Keep it private. I'm not gonna be mentioning names. I'm doing this lives. Not embarrass anyone. If you're here in the chat, it's fine because you're live. But if you come to my DM and ask a question, I'm not gonna mention your name. But I'm doing just um, yeah, I'm talking about here right now. Oh, by the way, I just recorded an amazing podcast today. But today is being busy. Um, the daily life of Dayvisson GPT. Now that I'm doing a coaching full time, uh, just doing regular prospecting and replying to potential clients and all that. But Today, I'm super excited. I just started with a new client. She's awesome. I'm not gonna mention names again. This is private. Um, from the retail insurance industry, trying to transition to sales. Um, Amazing hustle, seller experience. Just trying to better provide for family and get new opportunities to learn. Uh, I'm just super excited to see where she's gonna go. And uh, then I had a resume review. So very experienced manager. But here's a challenge. A lot of people, and I think I posted about this week, that for me, Dayvisson GPT here, resume is dead. Okay. Now the new resume is LinkedIn. A lot of people are not taking it seriously, but they will if they want to get a job quickly or if they want to level up. LinkedIn is a new resume. Again, I'm gonna say that again very clearly. LinkedIn is a new resume. You can make all the work on your resume and make it look very, very nice. But that worked like 5 years ago when LinkedIn wasn't a thing. Every time a hiring manager or a recruiter gets a resume, they're gonna go to LinkedIn and they're gonna try to find out more about you, testimonials, try to get a better feel of who you are before they talk with you or before they bring you for an interview. So level up your game and learn how to use the tool. Don't blame it if you are not getting results because you're not learning properly how to use it. Um, you're gonna see more results. Now, someone who's not looking for a job past 10 years might feel might see a huge gap. Like, oh shoot, do I have to do this? Do I really have to do this? The answer is yes. You have to be present on LinkedIn. You have to be even active on LinkedIn. That way, the algorithm and it works in your favor, and then recruiters are going to be, hey, recruiters are paying top-notch dollar money to LinkedIn to have access to talent, and LinkedIn is doing what they can to put those talents in front of the right people, the right recruiters and companies at the right time. And in order to make that match, the algorithm have to work. So if you're not here, how are they even supposed to find you, right? Um, you get it? It's not a rock science information. It's just that you just need to learn how to use it and leverage to your own benefit. So someone I talked today, have an amazing career, amazing. It just is not present. It needs to rep out into presence. And by the way, you don't need to have to be the next LinkedIn influencer or top voice, or you can do a live like I'm doing here right now. You don't have to do that. Right? Just you may make you can make one post a week. It doesn't matter, but um, ma- follow the company you want to hire. Guess what? When you do that follow on the company that you want to get hired, automatically triggers something on the other side, on the algorithm, or it triggers to the HR talent acquisition team of the organization. Hey, this person is he's looking, he's on the radar, right? Um, Make a comment to one of the leaders of the organization. If you're gonna, I mean, if you want to go to a new organization, I'll give you an example. You're gonna work for Microsoft, which is the toughest and one of the hardest ones to get to. You're not following their leaders. Like, I mean, you want to know who you're gonna be leading, right, in the future, and maybe make a comment here and there. It's not to be like seen by hundreds and thousands, and just no, just make a comment. Just be present. Um, the hiring teams are seeing those things more and more and more. Especially if you take sales. I mean, let's be honest. You're on LinkedIn looking for your perfect ICP, talking about a product, um, learning new things, being updated on it. You're gonna be here. It's gonna be part of your day to day, and you don't want to use for your own job search. That's tricky, right? So that's a red flag right there. If I'm a sales manager and I'm about to hire someone who's not active on LinkedIn, who doesn't even know what LinkedIn looks like, or is not a thought authority, or trying to be, or at least make an effort, that's a red flag for me, right? If I'm a hiring manager in sales. So learn how to use LinkedIn. Questions. Man, ask questions. I don't want to be talking forever. Um, but I will for the next 30 minutes or so. So I'm gonna be here for at least now and see if there's anybody else any other questions. Now, I did change this to 1 p.m. Central Texas because um, it's easier. I believe people are on lunch and it's Friday afternoon. I used to do this at 7 a.m. and 7 a.m. It hard for a lot of people, but here I am. So let me go to another topic. Actually, I'm going to be opening here uh, my second. I'm going to be opening my posts for this week. And if you do have a question, I'll stop and I will ask you a question and go from there. All right, let me start with today. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, so today I posted something that's very controversial that people have a lot of opinions about it, especially on the coaching world, your coaches, which is the green banner. I personally don't like it. Okay, and let me tell you why I don't like it. Um, for me, it just you. By the way, you can still keep your green banner open to work feature where recruiters, hiring managers can find you. You can still have that toggled on your profile and now have the green banner. So if you go back to where you put the green banner, there's two options. First, to have the open to work with the green banner. Second, to have open to work without it. So that's my recommendation, just without it. Just because, let's be honest, like we are everyone is open to work, even if you're working. I don't even know what that means. Okay, now I don't like that's it's a mindset. For me, it's a mindset. Job search is a mindset. About 80%, it's a mindset. 20% tactics, techniques, and all that strategies. Uh, it has a lot to do. Of course, when you have the right strategy, it helps your mindset. Of course, when you have the right network, this credibility helps your mindset. Everything helps your mindset. But at the end of the day, you want to avoid anything that's on the way make you feel like having that green banner. It just makes you look down. Maybe some people might agree or might disagree. That's up to you. That's your own opinion, right? But I feel like um, everyone is open to work. Everyone's not working. Everyone is trying to do their best. Even if someone's inside of the organization, if they're hired, even if they are hired, they're still open to work. They're still open to promotions. They're still open for new opportunities. They don't have necessarily to put a green banner. That's my opinion. Um, and some people might think like it helps. Now, if you're putting, and if you think a bunch of people reach out to you and recruiters and all that, and I feel like it's being helpful, that's awesome. If it's not working, just take it. And if you don't know, just take it out. Now, that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't like it. Just it can trickle your mindset to more reactive position and a proactive position. It's not doing that to you. Great. Just and I posted something here. If you throw, I need a job. Kind of like a sign like any corner of the street, like I need a job, or be like, hey, this is the value I bring to you know, like it's a paradigm shift. Of, I'm not desperate. I do have value. I know what I can do. The things that I can help the organization, and I can sell myself and go after. Now, even if you're not currently employed, you can still be doing a lot of work, right? And then, by the way, looking for a full time job is a full time job, right? So you're working, you're just not getting paid by a specific organization. So you are doing a lot of work, so all that counts. And looking for a job, being a job seeker is work. That counts. So that's why there's another reason why I don't like they open to work. Anyways, I talk a lot about this, and one of the recommendations that I give people when I give them LinkedIn reviews is that hey, take this out. I don't need it. Why are you putting here just because someone told you? Um, yeah, just positioning. It's all about storytelling. Job search is all about job positioning, storytelling, visibility, mindset. All right, all right. So enough of that. Let me go. Any questions? And is anybody have any questions? I don't see anybody here. I can't see any questions. So I'm just gonna keep talking uh, back here. Now, let me show you something really fast. Okay. Okay. So something else that I posted this week is let me walk you through here. What people want people to open doors for you. Basically, want people to help you make life easier for them, right? Be specific. Like when you reach out to someone, when you DM someone, when you're talking to someone, reduce as much as you can the work that they need to do to help you, right? Even be as clear as possible so they don't even have to ask questions to you. So have a clear target role. Um, and put some type of positions, LinkedIn, uh, have some links, have some ask, show gratitude, no pressure on the other side. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Be busy, do not answer anything. It's all about strategic messaging, communicating that you have to be thinking. But at the end of the day, you need to make people's life easier instead of giving them an extra work, an extra job. People feel like you're giving them more work that they have. It's gonna be harder for them to reply. Does that make sense? So as you reach out to people on DMs, I always recognize that people are busy. I always recognize that give them the benefit of the doubt. That they might not even be able to reply that for you. But be specific on the ask. Be specific on that you ask. Sorry, I give oh, two examples here. Stop scrolling. Please ask. You can see my screen. Yeah. So there's a few examples here. One, two examples. Now, let me. I don't think sharing. There you go. Let me go back here. I don't see any questions. We about to towards the end here today. And let me see. Friday, everyone. I will be doing this every Friday for about 30 minutes to an hour. Today I have time. I have about an hour, so I will be here for the next 20 minutes. If you have any questions, just ask. You shall receive right now. Dayvisson GPT. I'm just doing this to help. Um, Let me go back to my profile. And I am not able to see it. Give me a second. Okay, so about my immigration story. I was not no network, no clear strategy. I just wanted to get educated to study and do the best I could in college, but I wasn't really preparing to get jobs. But towards the end, I realized that I needed to get a job in network, and then I did everything that I could, but I was just being ghosted a lot. And then I started helping people how to get jobs. As a peer career advisor, I started learning different strategies on how to use LinkedIn. It was resumes and all those things, and I absolutely love coaching, and I have been doing it since then, many years ago. Um, and I was almost by accident I became a career coach, but I do love, and that's why I do this full time right now. About that, ideas people can do, and so what I'm gonna be doing instead of doing Dayvisson GPT like live like this, something else I'm gonna be doing. I'm going to be doing a masterclass, right? So I'm gonna be posting probably next week. How can you use LinkedIn to land your next best tech sales role, right? How can you leverage this tool? How can you network properly? How can you get more visibility? You, how can your profile become a magnet to help you with your next job? So that's what I'm putting together a bunch of ideas and tips and tricks, and I'm gonna be launching this probably like next week or so. And I'm gonna run the masterclass towards the end of the month. And so instead of doing live here, go more in a private setting, and then it can be more vulnerable, but you can ask more questions without having to worry about you're gonna buy. That's something that I'm putting together, and I'm super excited about it. Um, well, some of you don't know. Some of you know that about I started Texas Funnels like this year, and even though I have been doing coaching for almost 15 years, I did start Texas Funnels. Now I specifically help tech sellers um, get their next best tech sales role. So I do now. Super exciting. I know a lot of people that are new to tech sales reach out, and also people who want to learn tech sales should also reach out. So I do my best also to help uh, that specific profile seller. But yeah, I do have. I don't want to be talking too much here about it, but I don't see any questions. If you do have interest, you just go to techsalesphones.com and you find out about what I'm doing and the coach I'm doing. But hey, we're getting close to an end. Um, if there's no questions today, I'm gonna make a better list for my DMs for next week, and I'm just gonna go over all of them, and hopefully this will help someone. I know some people are not live; they watch this a different time. And they reach out saying, I, I like to do this, no matter if there's one or nobody or 100. Just, putting the word out there and making sure people have access to it. Now it's Friday, uh, and I think there's a few people online here. Do you have any questions for me? In the chat, send me my DM, and I'm here to help you. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep talking here. Let me go back to my posts. Um, Now, if you're wondering why is this thing, first I want to be funny because it's just me, it's Dayvisson GPT. So if my processing power is working, you get the answers. If it's not working, you get what you get. Um, Free version here, and I just don't have time to help on every single request asking for help. So I decided to create this, and I can answer all the questions here now. I didn't get a lot of questions this week. I just had a lot of calls, and I could go over a couple of calls that I had. Give me one second. So I'm not gonna mention people's name, one of them. But this week, I just talked to a right here. Okay, so I think the biggest challenge people are seeing these days, honestly speaking, when it comes to job search, is that sometimes people are getting too concerned, especially here in US. I'll say US, concerned about the microeconomics, what's happening around, and they are losing track of con- stay on track, focus on the things you can control. Right now, this time of the year, not this time of the year around, there's a lot of layoffs, a lot of reorganizations in different companies, in big tech, small tech, it doesn't matter. It's how it changes. So those are things you cannot control, like, right? So you just keep doing your best. Like if you are working full time right now, you keep networking, you keep doing it in your role, so you're ready to make your pivot, make a change if you need it. If you're outside, if you're trying to get in, you just have to network, you have to apply, you have to position yourself in a way that you're attractive and to your next employer, right? So interviewing, uh, visibility, knowing how to use LinkedIn, those are all things you can control. So don't worry about everything else. Everything else that the world is going through or other people are saying. So that's the best high level advice. So I talk to a lot of people. And that usually comes up. Why should I get a job in textiles now? Result of layoffs. There's layoffs everywhere. In fact, just be ready because there's going to have more and more layoffs because all the shifts and changes that are happening, not only on the economy, but on the industry in general. Um, but there is a lot of opportunities. So I keep posting posts about companies that are hiring, opportunities, places that you can go work. There's all those things that you can that are in your control that should not be letting to get in your head, basically. A big job as a coach, help people stay focused, the things that they can control, the activities that they can do. And honestly, that's all you can do, right? And that's what's going to drive results anyway. And thinking negatively, thinking the other way around, is not going to do anything. Anything good for you, anyways. So just have that in mind. Uh, the, 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 now, Now, there's usually three areas that you should be thinking about when you are looking for a new opportunity, when you're looking for a new role, or when you're looking for your next job. There's always three pieces. The first one is the strategy. Do you have a strategy? Do you have clarity? Do you have focus? Do you have the power, the energy, your why? All the stuff it falls into one bucket, one category. The other one is like, do you have visibility, right? In other words, does people know you? You know, uh, how's your networking look like? What are you doing to get the visibility that you need for your resume to get profile to get to kind of information interviews are you done? Have you done? What kind of networking are you doing? So that's the other piece. The third one is just communication. What communication means is just how you are doing the interview process. What kind of messaging are you sending people? Are you sending text messages? Are you sending DMs? Are you sending audios? Are you sending videos? Are you communicating via uh, you know website, via text? Like I mean, how you're answering questions during the interview process. That's all communication. So if for some reason you're stuck in one of those areas, there's also something you can do. You have to um, have self-awareness to know, okay, do I need help in all those three areas? Do I only need help? I'm crushing on my network. I know a lot of people. I'm just not going to be able to properly sell myself in the interview process. I'm not getting to the offer, so I need to double down on the communication, right? But if you're just lost, if you're confused, what's next? You think about the economy, or you don't know which companies to apply for. If you go be tech startups, um, don't have a strategy, then double down on that strategy. It's foundational. Don't go to the next stage unless you get that down, get organized. Or if you have a good strategy, you know exactly what you want to do. But then you don't have the network. You don't know the people. Um, you double down on the networking piece. Right? If some people have to do the three areas at the same time, but I was thinking that way. If you get to the final round, you don't get an offer, right? What happened? You just don't go too far. Just think about those three areas. Um, so most likely the communication, the network. At the end of the day, people hire the people that they know, like, and trust. And you have to have visibility, you have to be likable, and you have to have trust, build trust. And also think about those three big buckets. I also found it, and didn't get an offer. It was because of people just didn't like you, and you're not a good fit. Didn't like you for the organization, didn't like you for their team, or the hiring manager's like, hey, I don't want to manage this person, or you didn't build enough trust. Your stories were not strong enough. Your storytelling wasn't strong enough. Your communication wasn't the greatest, or you're not able to sell yourself, right? Um, as a solution for their problem. Therefore, um, you're lacking on that bucket. So, sales process is compared to the interview process, right? You're just a difference. You're the product. You're selling yourself. You're trying to sell yourself through the entire process. So it's all about knowing more people getting the visibility, being likable, giving value to people. Then people start liking you, and then trust, right? Build that trust by delivering the things you promise to do, by your numbers, by your past experiences, by your history, all those things build trust. And there's no better place to do that than here on LinkedIn. Okay, so highly recommend you to do this. Now, you don't have to come live again. You don't have to be live. I'm here live because I'm a career coach and I want to be in front of a lot of people, and I don't have time to talk to everyone at the same time. So I just finish the questions. It's like office hours that I'm going to reserve. I can also always go back to the DMs and talk about my posts and that kind of stuff. But something I recommend you to do if you want to get more active on LinkedIn, and you want to have more visibility, just, just think about three areas in your life that you like to think about, like to talk about, and just start posting about it. It doesn't have to be your job. It's not about promoting your job. You can do that. It's fine. You can do that as part of your sales work. But it's about you. It's about your personal brand. It's about more. You're excited about it. You're passionate about it. I love coaching. I love helping people. And I was looking at this book today. A very well-known book called "His Passion." Anyways, we're just looking at it. I love this stuff. It's something that I'm really passionate about it, and that's what I do now to help people transition, to help people successfully get offers and jobs. So I can talk about this every day. I have no problem with it. And that's what I post on LinkedIn, right? That's what I decided to post, and that's what I decided to do. Now you have your own things that you can talk about it. Now, if you don't want to post, just make comments. Just go to people's profile, follow people, and then engage. Um, go read and consume content, and then give something back. Like give at least your comment, right? Right. It's karma, right? Comes back to you as well. So automatically, you see LinkedIn promotes people, job seekers who are more active naturally. Like, in fact, when a recruiter is looking for someone to hire, let's give you an example. A recruiter is looking for an account executive. That is a way for them to see if that they can tag on. Like, I just want to see the ones who are active because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my credits. I don't want to waste my money. I just want to talk to the people who are active. Because if there's two account executives, one is active on LinkedIn and the other's not, for like the last 2 years, who do you think uh, the LinkedIn, who's charging money for those recruiters to pay for the feature, send uh, the list of the people who are active. It's business. It's just how it works. So if you're present here, if you're actively contributing to the community, you're gonna be more visible. So it's all about visibility. Um, People who are not seen, they're not remembered. Um, it's not about winning a popularity contest. It's not about being the next uh, Oprah. None of that. I mean, it'd be great to get a job if you're Oprah, right? You can get a job anywhere. But what I'm trying to say is like there's tips and tricks that you can do here to be more visible and to get an edge and to differentiate yourself. It's I can't tell you that enough. Learn how to use LinkedIn. I am putting this masterclass together. I'm going to be announcing next week. Sellers who wants to get a better job, who feel that they're stuck and they need to move on to the next role, or they just need to bounce back. Whatever it is, leverage LinkedIn. Learn how to use LinkedIn to your own benefit, um, your personal branding, to your whatever you want to do. Right. So, hey, it's been an hour. As promised, I stayed. I answered all the questions that came through. My goal here is to answer your questions. Have questions throughout the week, just drop on the DM and I'll look right before this call. I mean, my DM was just huge mess. There's a lot of messages and different things there. But throughout the week, I'm gonna try to take those questions out so I can answer here live. Now, if you don't wanna show your face or that you're asking questions because you're worried about people seeing, just go send me a DM and now I promise that I won't mention your name here. I'm trying to keep this private. It's these again is the best tool for you to find your next opportunity. At the same time, it can inhibit people from being here alive. For example, you're probably maybe watching this and then you don't want to say anything because you want people to know that you are looking for something. So it's tricky, right? Very tricky. I understand that. So the masterclass is going to be private. It's going to be just for the people who actually are serious about it. So happy Friday. Go out. It's May 2nd. Enjoy. And I'll see you next week. Again, this is GPT. Thank you. Thank you.